All right, we got to start with Mark Turgeon. The Mark Turgeon era at Maryland's officially over. Tate,
funny.
Tate hears his name and starts laughing
Yeah.
just instinctively. This was year 11 for Turgeon. 10 years, one Sweet 16 appearance.
Yeah.
This was the problem that Maryland fans had. For those who aren't plugged into what was going on at Maryland basketball, basically the big bullet points are that Turgatory is the term we use for the state of Mark Turgeon. Era Maryland
you could
basketball.
win the Big Ten, but it's a three-way tie. It would just you could be number two in the country.
You're gonna make the NCAA tournament, but you're gonna lose in the first weekend.
Exactly.
And is that good? Is it not good? It's Turgatory. It's in the middle. It's you're not horrible, but you're
relevant.
Not, yes.
But are you?
Yes. And at long last, the Maryland fans were losing their minds. They couldn't take it anymore. Maryland loses to George Mason at home this year. Who else did they lost to Virginia Tech? Who was the third loss? I forget. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
But Danny Manning was the big news of the offseason. They bring in Danny Manning. They bring in some key transfers. I mean, they get a lot
Fats
of
Russell.
Yeah,
Wahab.
they had the preseason hype. There's a lot of people that in the Big Ten media that picked them to finish third. Which is very Turgatory. You're not picked to finish first, but you're picked to finish in the top four, so that's good.
They lost to Louisville, by the way.
Oh.
I just looked it up.
Mike Rutherford. Shout out to you.
Yeah,
Mike Rutherford actually is so upset that I like Maryland more than Louisville. You know what I mean? It's like as my ACC bias. Like he's like, why? He's like, he cannot compute. But I do want Maryland.
I will say that doesn't make a lot of sense
I know it's not that
for an old
dislike,
ACC guy to like Maryland more than Louisville. That doesn't compute.
No, it's because it's respect. You know what I mean? I know Maryland. I Louisville's like new kid on the block. You know what I mean? And then they come in and they're yelling about we got the greatest rivalry. You're like, whoa, hold up.
All right.
And I know a lot of people were like, well, 1980, 1986. I get it, but that's UCLA run over. You know what I mean? Like that was John Wooden. John Wooden's everywhere, as we saw the statues in Indiana and everywhere else in the world. But
John Wooden went.
Love Louisville.
John Wooden went to
Maryland.
Purdue, by the way. He number one. Purdue. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. This is Purdue's just having a great time.
All roads lead back to
John Wooden.
So Turgatory, it's over 8 games into the season. They lose to George Mason. They lose to Louisville. They lose to Virginia Tech. This was a Maryland team that was preseason ranked. There was expectations of some sort. They were probably, like as you said, they were picked to finish third for that. That is the Turgeon experience. It does not look like that's what's going to end up happening. And so Maryland fans who came into the season already primed. They're already kind of over Mark Turgeon. Let's be honest. Like if we were guessing when they got over Mark Turgeon, it was probably that 2015 season, right? The 15, was it 15, 16?
2015, 16.
With the Melo Trimble and the
North Carolina Villanova ended up being in the final.
Yes. I feel like that was the year that like Maryland fans were like, all right, I've seen enough. We're probably ready to move on. And he stuck around for 5 more years. And
they were done after 7 years.
Yeah. It's a 7-year itch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real.
It's the lesson.
And they were ready to move on, and then they start 5-3. And apparently, the story that's being and we got to talk about this because I don't know what the real story is, but the story that's being put out there is that Mark Turgeon, after losing to Virginia Tech, right? Was that it? Am I understanding this correctly? Yeah, Virginia Tech was at home. After the Virginia Tech game, they lose. He's walking to the locker room, and fans are basically booing him. They're saying mean things. They're just bullying Mark Turgeon. And he takes a long look in the mirror and decides, I've had enough, I quit. And that's it. And that's the story. Because when the announcement was made, they said it was a mutual, that Maryland and Mark Turgeon mutually agreed to part ways. And we know that that's not true. We know that these decisions are never mutual. They can't possibly be mutual. Because like, if you're firing your coach 8 games into the season, that's sort of unprecedented for if there's no off-court issues, which there's not in this case, as far as we know, but I'm going to feel pretty confident.
It isn't about that. Yeah,
I'm going to feel pretty confident there's nothing off court. And it's a guy who won the conference a couple years ago, and the team's 5-3. It's like if they started 0-8, maybe I could see a world where he gets fired 8 games into the season. So I'm supposed to believe, if this is truly mutual, that 8 games into the season, Maryland decides they want to fire him, which would be like kind of insane, like insane, unprecedented timing. And on the other side of it, at the exact same time, 8 games into the season, Mark Turgeon decides he's ready to quit. And they both just like walk into the same room at the same time. I'm going to say it on 3. 1, 2, 3. I quit. And they're like, quit. You're fired. No, at the same time. Of course
they're
not.
arguing who was first.
Of course not, dude.
I think he quit.
He definitely quit.
And I think he quit for, like you said, I mean, the Maryland fan base, they just feel like they were forced into this marriage at this point, and
Yeah.
they were both ready to be done with it. And I think that Mark Turgeon could go to another situation and be a good coach. It's never been about Mark Turgeon, the basketball coach. I like the guy. But at the end of the day, you have Danny Manning on that bench right next to him, a guy who can easily step right in and step up. I love when the guys step down. Danny Manning steps up into the head coaching role and is a great interim. There's going to be conversations. I promise you by February, we're going to have some conversations of people who are like, should Danny Manning get the job as the Maryland head coach so they can...
Who are these people? Show me these people, dude.
Me. I'm going to do this. Should Danny Manning keep this job? But then the good conversation... the good conversation is what the conversation we were having on the last episode before we even knew this was going to happen about Maryland, which is they need a return to prominence. They need to get out of Turgatory. The first step to get out of Turgatory is to get rid of the Turg.
Yes, just get rid of the Turg.
And he's out.
Hey there, thanks for watching Titus and Tate. For the full friend of the program experience, subscribe right below and come join us for all things college basketball. The action is heating up. Come join Titus and Tate.